This is Carl. I just want to quickly demo to you the difference between the different ESU speakers. That's the guys that make the little mini speakers for the ATRO-scale model trains and the sound decoder boards and all that. I want to specifically focus on the little Sugarcube speakers that I like so much and the difference in sound in just changing the box size. So here I have my laptop with the sound project files that I play for the locomotive sounds, running it line in through a little Chinese cheap radio that I stripped, running it can play USB, FM radio and line in, and then I've got my two wires with two pieces of railway track that I just use on the speakers, and there's my selection of speakers. So I'm going to put the phone down here and hopefully we can see what's happening. First of all, I'm going to try the little original speaker that comes with the soundboard. It's the ESU 20mm round speaker. In my case, I'm just playing it into the enclosure. It will probably sound better in a locomotive playing forwards, but so should all the other speakers. Let me quickly just play the file. EMD 645 V16 cylinder sound. They sound terrible, that locomotive, on bad speakers because you just hear the turbo. If it's a good speaker with bass, you hear the actual engine. It's on the laptop. Let's see if it plays. Play. Okay. It's the laptop speakers playing. There's terminals on here. Let me just switch over to that. Okay, there we go. That's the standard speaker. Not bad, but not very much bass. Obviously in the loco with the cone playing outwards, it will play a little bit better. This is not my favorite speaker. Little 16x25 oval. I don't like it. I'm not even going to waste much time. Very tinny, not even clear. Here's the big boy of the conventional speakers. It's a 20x40mm in its enclosure. Quite loud, quite nice sound. And I'll stand it up vertically because it's it. Oh, let's play it that way. It seems to sound a little bit better standing like that. At least you can hear a bit of the engine. But now we start with the Sugarcubes. Here's the standard Sugarcube. I glue it with plastic glue and I assemble the kit. I've got the kit, all the parts of the kit in, so it's at full standard height, which is the cube with both spacers. And I wind it in a little bit of thick insulation tape just to isolate it and make sure it's sealed in there. Already it's got more bass than the big oval. This is a very well used speaker, so there's a slight distortion. It's one of my test speakers because of that. I pulled it out the loco. And here's my larger box, which is 2.5 kits of spacers, I think, if I can recall. It's literally double the height of the standard speaker. But listen to the difference. I'll go with standards 1, Sugarcube. This is number 50321 on the ESU catalog. It's got more bass than the conventional speakers, but listen to this. Much more bass. And pretty good volume. Back to the normal one. Okay, let's quickly start up the diesel. So when the file ends, I'll start it up on the decent, big, fully built, enlarged speaker. Just wait till that finishes. You can really hear the diesel engine now, not just the turbos. And inside a locomotive, this will obviously even sound better. Okay, quickly listen to the standard one, which is really not bad. slightly brighter sound, but that's the speaker. When I had them in the same boxes, same size boxes, the two speakers, the one sounded brighter than the other. So this could even sound better, but it's really good just because of the larger box. Definitely much more bass. Almost pushing the volume a little bit on this one because the diaphragm's slightly used. I'm just going to take the volume. It can go louder, a bit softer. Really nice sound. And we take the other one again. And just as comparison, we quickly put the big oval, 20 by 40 millimeter. And once you heard the Sugarcubes, these things sound tinny. They will sound a bit better, as I say in the Loco, but there's definitely a difference with these speakers. Standard one and then my extended one. You can even hear the idle, the engine, much better. Okay, they're shutting it down. I'm going to quickly stop the video and then I'm coming back just with a quick test on the steam locomotives. I've got a steam engine. It's the GS4 484 American Loco. Probably sounds similar in a way to our 25 NCs. So I'm going to get the sound file going on the standard Sugarcube in the standard enclosure. Play. Oops, let me just, they're going to blow the whistle now, I think. I'm just very done with the terminals now. It's the American bell. Really doesn't sound bad. Tiny little Sugarcube speaker. But now let's change it to the Sugarcube with the large enclosure and we should hear what a real steam engine sounds like. That's way better. That's a little radio match, take it down a bit. Go back to the standard one. Really not bad. Just for interest's sake, we go to the large oval. Hold it like this, it tends to sound a bit better. Otherwise, I'm not giving this large speaker justice, but what I'm trying to prove is that these Sugarcube speakers to me sound by far the best. And if you can in any way make the enclosure larger than the standard kit, then by all means, and if you have the space, it's worth it. And that's the standard, which is already better than the conventional speaker, and this is now the real thing. We just got to wait for some. Oh, the file's finished. Oh, I thought it was battling here. Let me just give it a quick run. How good that sounds. Oh. Quickly go to the standard one. Definitely got a bit more treble on the top end, but that's just the speaker itself. That the enclosure doesn't really affect. A little bit loud on the radio and on the laptop. It's softer. I find usually they sound automatically a bit louder in the locomotive. I think the decoder boards have a better output or better amp stage than this cheap radio. So this is really going to sound good, because quite frankly, these little Sugarcube speakers with the standard enclosures already sound amazing in those locomotives. So I hope this gives you an idea what can be done with these little ESU 50321 speakers. Hope you enjoyed.